What it do, what it do, what it do. It is your boy, Andrew. So, who am I with as always? Joseph, aka Old Man Huggie. Talk shit or get off the pod. Episode 137. The GameStop Pop Part 2. Diamond Hands Edition, motherfucker.
I gave myself the boo. Yeah. Been hearing that a lot, but I'm vibing. How are you, sir?
Wait, you've been hearing about GameStop?
GameStop and just a lot of booze. You know, I'm gonna be.
Why?
Just in general. That's just I feel
You're
like
booing GameStop.
No, I'm booing myself. I was just for the sake of.
Oh, okay. Nothing to do with the intro.
No. Sometimes it's just nice to give yourself, Yeah, always
you like to boo yourself.
Because sometimes I hit the cheers. I have a cheer and a clap like right now. It's great. It works well. It's short. They're a little bit synced up. But then the boo one's like 15 seconds. It's just like.
Well, you realize that nobody in the audio audience can hear the booze. So.
I know that. It's interesting. So it's weird because it's like I hear it, but it doesn't affect anything. But it still exists. So if you watch the stream, you hear all of it. So it's just interesting. It's like two different worlds overlapping. But I'm getting a mixer board where I'm going to be able to record like tons of tracks at once and be able to do some pretty cool shit. So we'll be able to lab on some stuff.
Oh, shout out Talk Shit Media coming up. Expense it.
Jesus.
How you been, man?
Good, man. Busy, crazy. I got some days off. I got some sleep. I saw new Planet of the Apes movie. If you haven't seen it,
how was it?
Did you like the other three?
I don't know if I've seen all of them. I've seen one of the new ones.
James Franco, and he's like, "Oh, this is my
No, I didn't. I've never seen that one.
That one's pretty good. Like they're all
the one with like
good.
Caesar.
Well, Caesar's in all three.
Oh, I guess I figured. I don't know. Maybe the middle one I saw.
That's possible.
But no,
really good, man. I mean, I
enjoyed it. I'm just not I'm not going out to that. Like I was thinking about going out to the theaters for the new Mad Max movie, though.
Yeah, for sure, definitely for that. Well, I loved the first three in the sense that they're good. Like they're original takes on something. The original Planet of the Apes is a classic. Charlton Heston, get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape. Damn you all to hell. Great.
He's dead.
Yeah,
couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Great NRA spokesman as well. So shout out Charlton Heston, and we see him every Easter as Moses. He's Moses every Easter too, man. Charlton Heston's and all that shit.
Fuck that guy.
Him, John Wayne, they were all in movies that gave other people cancer, and then down the line.
They should dig him up, put him on trial for being responsible for propagating mass shootings, and then hang him.
That'd be epic. But no, really good because it's just like an original. It's like a prequel, so it kind of explains. So even this movie and the fourth one, you're still it's good, and there's still obviously there's more to come. But CGI is wild, like crazy good CGI. So good you forget you're sitting there watching a bunch of fucking apes, and there's like a couple people. Everyone else is just like talking chimps and gorillas and shit. But it's so fucking good. I really liked it.
Do you think I should take a hero's dose of mushrooms and go see it by myself?
I think you should do yourself a favor and watch the one with James Franco. I think they're all on HBO right now, so you can watch.
So you want to know the backstory?
Yeah, no, because they all tell a story. That's the whole.
No, I know, but they're connected to where it would behoove me to see the previous ones?
This one, yes, but no. I think you wouldn't have a full grasp of certain characters and phrases and the significance of it to the story. But you could see this new Planet of the Apes and not have seen the other three and be like, that was a pretty good fucking movie. You might not be as into it as somebody who's seen the other three because it ended and I was like, shit. Now I gotta wait because there's gonna be another one, and there's so much more that I want to see that I already know exists because I've seen the original Planet of the Apes. So there's like just so much more you want, like the Marky Mark one where he's like, "What are we doing? It's a bunch of fucking apes running around. Like I'm back from space." Like that's
Okay, then what's the other one besides Marky Mark and James Franco?
the originals are from like the what
No.
'68 through the
Of the three.
'73 or something. What do you mean? Oh, they're all like the James Franco one is explaining how that even happened in the first place.
No. There's three, right? One's got James Franco.
Yep.
One's got Mark Wahlberg. What's the third one? Who's in that one?
No. Okay, so there was the original. Then they remade the original with Mark Wahlberg. Tim Burton did it. The crazy chick from Fight Club was in it. She was in like full body makeup, like monkeys. It was really bad. Everybody hated it. There's an ending where it's like the Lincoln Memorial, but it's a picture of like an ape's face on the Lincoln Memorial, and it's like, oh, where'd we go, guys?
I just want to know who's in the other one because I want to know which one I watched.
Then they did.
I don't need an explanation.
Then they did Then they did the James Franco one way later, and that's a prequel to all of them. Then there was a second one. I can't even remember anybody who's in the second one. So there's the first one with James Franco, Caesar's a baby. Second one where there's like humans left and apes are living in the woods. And then
that's the one I saw. Yeah.
And then there's the third one, and that's apes living in the woods. Woody Harrelson's like a psychopath, is trying to eradicate all apes.
No, that's the one I saw.
Yeah, that's War. That's War for the Planet of the Apes. That one's pretty wild. And then this last one, so there's two before that one that explain how they got to that point. And this one takes place, they say multiple generations later. So this takes place, I'd probably say like
so why does
50, 60 years.
And I thought, like, do apes, like, why is Caesar still alive?
Well, no. Well, I mean, if you saw the third one, I mean, Caesar doesn't make it all the way to the end. So, but then
Spoiler
the title
alert.
Well, no, you said you've seen it, so sorry.
I know, but I was like, that was when I was drinking.
But the idea or the title, there's no chimps that live 130 years, so that's like that doesn't happen. So that name, that title gets passed on like Caesar, like the title of Caesar, and
right. When in Rome, I do it like Caesar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that title just gets passed out, and there's another ape that's the king of the apes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's tight. Yeah, you could do a hero's dose and go see it, and you'd be like, this shit's wild, and you'd be like, this CGI is crazy. You would, like I said, you'll forget that you're watching like a CGI fucking movie of an orangutan and like a lemur, like rolling dice. You're like, whoa, man, this lemur is cool as fuck. And then you're like, wait, that's a CGI fucking lemur. That's somebody like voicing over this character in like a black suit with fucking balls attached to their arms, talking this shit out. It's good. I digress.
How come Kendrick Lamar hasn't come out with a diss track on Drake called like Deep Drake? And it's like about AI and
No, because that's not how Kendrick works. It'd be something weird where he would make fun of something that like only Drake would know, that we would be confused by.
I know that.
And it'd be like some toy that he mailed in some fucking box tops to get from his cereal box to get some glow in the dark spoon, and his neighbor jacked it from him. He'd name that shit like glow in the dark,
and he cried
like glow in the dark spoon, cry baby, and nobody would know what the fuck we were talking about. But Drake would be in the bathroom like, why does he have to do this to me, girl? And on some tropical beat shit. It'd be like,
damn.
I was never
R.I.P.
I was never a Drake fan, so no. And this is all like, he's got a couple bangers in the sense where the beats are good. He's got good cameos and stuff, and he's on some tracks. But I was never really into it, especially his own like by himself shit. So this is all like really funny now that everyone's like making fun of Drake. I was like, I knew this guy was a bitch.
You know what's fucked up? So your Bumble account connects to your Spotify, and like I was listening to a Drake album and I listened to it all the way through, and then it was like I was had the music in the background and it repeated, uh and so what it does is it shows, and that was like a long time ago, but because of the way that I listen to music, it's like usually Spotify suggested, so it's like uh each artist is just one song. So because I was listening to like a few times the album of Drake, he's like the most played artist, because like most of the other guys I'm only listening to like one or two of their songs. So it says Drake is like one of my most played artists on my Bumble, and I feel like it's like sending a bad signal to these women.
You gotta like somehow
They, they think I'm soft. They
you
think I'm
gotta
soft.
you gotta doctor that shit, dude. You gotta like go look up some Spotify playlists that are just like different tracks. You gotta
And
put.
it's fucking on my algorithm, because uh like they'll have like a chick, like a girl will pop up for me to swipe on, and it'll be like, what they do is they're like, something that you guys have in common, and it's like when you filled out your profile, if you guys have similar things, and all the time it's like, oh, you both listen to Drake, and it's like, well, no, bitch.
Yeah, what was it? My Spotify Wrapped is pretty wild, and you'll make fun of me for it. I just get in this mode, especially when I'm like riding my bike and shit. But my number one, I was in the top 0.1% of people who listened to this artist throughout the entire year. Who do you think that was? Top 0.1%.
I don't know, brother Lynch Hung.
No, dude, Chief Keef, dude. I was
uh,
listening to Chief.
how am I gonna guess that?
Mm-hmm. But literally,
You're not
that's
from Chicago. You're not a drill rapper.
it's
You
just.
know,
I know that's why.
I smoke more weed than you.
That's. I mean, maybe that's why. Maybe it's like some. When I think about it, some of my favorite hip hop artists are like boogeyman style artists, but not necessarily Chief Keef, although he kind of is. But like old school Gucci Man, or yeah, Brother Lynch Hung, or Project Pat, any old school 3 6 Mafia, not cheesy songs with Katy Perry, 3 6 Mafia.
Dude, Katy Perry, that episode title blew up. The last episode, I kissed Katy Perry at the Met Gala, and I liked it. Oh man, oh man, the SEO
Yeah,
just just boom, out the
skyrocket.
out the gates, like that. That's really what it like when I noticed it. It's like post it, and then like a couple hours later, if there's just like usually there's like a lag time on people listening to the pod, because it's like the posted audio on like Spotify and Apple,
Yeah,
because it's not live or whatever. But no, it was like I just like went and just to check back uh on how I posted it, and it was already like, a ton of views, or I mean listens or whatever.
man, we should link this because we could live stream this to TikTok while we do it. Didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah, we should do that, because we're about to get you little TikTokers at the end of this. Oh, so real quick, also, on Thursday, I'm working, and I get an email from this company called One Iota. Shout out for hooking your boy up. They like 5 6 years ago, I went and saw Jimmy Kimmel. Like I was like in the audience and I brought my brother.
Yeah,
In order to do that, you have to. This company, One Iota, they like are in charge of all these like shows, like The View and The Voice, and like they need people to like be in the crowd on those shows.
yeah.
So they facilitate it, but in order to like go through the process, like you have to answer 1,000 questions and like give them like your social, like not your social security, your social media. Isn't that funny that your social media kind of plays the same role as your social security number in like some ways, like in background check type situations,
Yeah.
and they're both called social. Anyways, so and then like I had to answer questions about Jimmy Kimmel and shit, because they want to like weed out like assholes and
If
shit.
you're
It's
like,
like,
I loved him on the Man Show, they'd be like, nope.
no, I mean like kind of like, I mean, if you knew stuff like that, then that would be like a good like a
Yeah.
green
Oh
flag,
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, I did all that. I passed the test. I got 2 tickets. Me and my brother went. It was a fucking nightmare. Like Ryan Seacrest was supposed to be the guest. He canceled. It was like some YouTube star was the guest, and like some chuckle fuck clown like asswipe was the like comedian to warm up the crowd. Like you didn't see him on TV, but he was like a fucking idiot. Anyways, I think I've told the story before, but because I created that account, smash cut to this Thursday. I look and they're like, "Hey, would you be interested in going to the Netflix is a Joke Fest?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I would be." Like, I was just, I think, remember when I met Jeff Ross?
Yeah.
Like, he was like, he brought that up, that they're working on like getting that set up. And so what that is out here in LA, it's 400 comedians. Like, it started May 1st, and it's like at different venues, like the Hollywood Bowl, Hollywood Palladium, of like around LA, and it's like every weekend, um, comedians are performing, and it's outdoors. So it's like, and they have like all these like games and shit. But so I was like, yeah, and then they're like, which comedian are you most excited about seeing? And it was Jim Jeffries, Jeff Ross, and Nikki Glazer was the event they were trying to invite me to. And the last two comedians I saw respectively was Nikki Glazer and Jeff Ross. So I just put that. And like 20 minutes later, I got two tickets to that, and then they like upgraded it to like priority tickets. So we got in like first. So I brought the Iron Ape, and we went. It was like, and it turned out to be the 10-year anniversary of the roast battle. So the quarterfinals they did, but they also had comedians in the beginning, and Jim Jeffries was the host. And it was like, it was all run by Netflix. So they had like the show Big Mouth on
Yeah.
Netflix. Yeah. So like Mechanical Bull.
Yeah.
They had like two of those like in this big like bouncy house like thing, and but except for they were Big Mouth, the hormone monsters that you could ride on, and then they had like Putt Putt, and I forget what like show that was, and they had like a zip line, and it was like this huge, and like food and shit, and then like a huge stage, and the comedians came up, and it's like it's the parking lot at the Hollywood Palladium because it's outdoors, and so you're like in the middle of Hollywood, and right when we get there, we were the first people to be let in, except for there was people like already sitting. So I don't know. They were like filming something like earlier. There was like a day thing, and so there's like a fucking clown called Puddles up there singing, and then he gets off, and the comedian comes out to introduce Jim Jeffries, who's going to be the host.
Okay.
And as soon as he comes out, it's a police helicopter start like goes over, and it just starts circling like the basically the venue, and it like throws that comedian off, and then he like obviously is like pissed, and then he realizes he's thrown off, and the crowd's kind of distracted, and then he just like straight bombs, and it's like hard to watch. But this helicopter does not leave. So Jim Jeffries comes up as the host, introduces the first comedian. The whole time, this helicopter circling, circling. It was like a straight murder, like outside the venue, and it was insane. But like, I mean, it wasn't like that big of a deal to me, but it was just kind of funny, like how that went down. But
That's
super fun. And then Nikki Glazer and Jeff Ross come out, and they've got the roast battle. And so this has been going on in like L.A., Chicago, New York, and they've like got it down to like the final people that are going to be in the tournament. And so this was the quarterfinals. So we saw like I think it was like four or yeah, maybe four different battles, but maybe it felt like more, but like four, we'll say four different battles of it's like two people, and they get five jokes each to roast each other.
yeah.
And that was so fucking funny. He was ruthless. There was this autistic guy who was one of the people, and his jokes, I could not believe that he made it this far. Like, and it was like they mentioned he was autistic like two jokes in, and but even then the jokes were still insane. It was like he said something like because he was going against a female, and he was like, all she needs to do to smile.
Careful.
No, I'll tell you the joke. And you just like, I don't know how this is a joke. Or like, he's like, all she needs to do to smile when taking a picture is think about cheese.
What?
Yeah, dude. And he's on stage and shit. And then she comes back, and she was like, let's say his name's Brian. Like, Brian failed the vision test at the DMV, not because he like that like his hard of seeing, it's because he couldn't make eye contact with the letterboard that long.
Damn.
I know, that's tight. um,
Savage.
yeah, so that was cool. And then just real quick, yesterday I was in a poker tournament, $5 buy-in, $1,000 guaranteed prize pool, 220 people, top 39 make the money. So I make the money, and something bad happens, and I like the guy almost had as many chips as me, except for I had 2,500 left, right? So there's 37 people left. I have 2,500 chips left after this hand. The antes alone, I don't even talk about the antes because they're supposed to be so low. It just everybody throws them in. The antes are so high that they're 1,800. The big blind is 15,000, and I only have 2,500. So I've got 1/6 of a big blind left,
Okay.
and I got fifth place.
Damn.
Yeah, no, isn't that insane? I like it. That would be the equivalent of me having 30 cents at the 1-2 table, and turning it because I had like I was the chip leader going into the final table at 8 million chips. I had more chips than everybody at the table combined. I turned 2,500 chips into 8 million.
Damn.
I know. That was insane. All right, you want to start us off? Oh, everybody, what we did today was switched it up. Usually I put in the therapy questions, Joseph puts in the topics, but today Joseph put in the therapy questions and I put in the topics.
So to start off like we always do, therapy questions. Andy. And some of them are just generic questions for the conversation. But number one, what sport do you think has the best athletes and why? And we'll just say just like an overall athlete. What sport do you think has the best athletes?
Um, Probably basketball.
Okay. And why would you? Why? I'm curious as to why. I mean, I'd probably agree with that, but I'm curious as to why some people completely disagree. I have so many people say fucking soccer players. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
dead. I'm dead ass.
Do soccer players have to jump? Like I'm just saying, like
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for
you,
headers. I
you
mean,
have to you have to like it like basketball is like 5D. You gotta go run. You have to go up, down, left, right, forward, back. Also like the hand-eye coordination that you need to like drain threes. Like that translates into
with like,
baseball. That translates into every sport. Like hand-eye coordination is like what you need in sports. So you need that in basketball, plus all the physical attributes, plus you're like tall, plus you're fast, plus you can like you got the endurance. Get
yeah,
the
like
fuck out of my face.
all those things like translate to other stuff. I've always said like, yeah, I think we talked about the sport when it came to like, golf or bowling and pool. I think like one of the hardest things you can do is hit a baseball. If you can stand there and hit professional pitching, that's got to be like one of the hardest things you could possibly do in sports.
I mean, not for me, not for your boy.
No, I
Back-to-back
mean you think about it.
MVPs,
You got some
back-to-back MVPs
you
at my
got some
baseball
you
camp.
got some Randy Johnson guy who's like 6'6", 6'8", hurling a baseball at you 100 miles an hour, and it's a pretty. That's the hand-eye coordination for that is crazy. To be able to like not know pitching would be one of the harder things you could
Yeah,
do.
it's hard, but you're saying
Like most difficult, like most difficult. Yeah, no, I'm saying
yeah.
like in most difficult task required in sports, being a batter, being a professional batter would probably be number one or top, pretty close to the top of that list. Maybe like hockey goalie would be pretty difficult.
No, it's not. No.
Uh,
I subbed in as a goalie and scored 7 goals. But that's true. But that was on the 3-on-3 game. but I also subbed in as a goalie like in a real game for my team because our goalie was gone, and we won 11-1. There you go. And that one wasn't my fucking fault.
there you go. Well, I'm just saying.
But
no. I mean,
get in the way of the puck.
but yeah, I would have to agree. Like I think that the way that basketball players or any of them translate to other sports is like wild. Like, and not saying that somebody who plays football can't be good at basketball, but it's like,
But no, there's people who play college basketball who are all stars in the NFL. Like go see Jimmy
Like
Graham.
Jimmy Graham,
Yeah,
Antonio Gates,
all the tight
Tony
ends. Like
Gonzalez, all the
all
great tight ends were
Michael
like,
Jordan almost made it pro playing baseball. Like
yeah. Well, and
yeah,
think
but
about it. He would be one of the biggest guys. Like the largest basketball. LeBron James would be the largest person in the NFL. If he played football, he would be the biggest guy, proportion wise and height wise. Probably the tallest, if not one. He'd be an offensive tackle. LeBron James would be an offensive tackle. He wouldn't play that, but that's essentially what he'd be. He'd be Gronkowski, or some big, huge, crazy fucking dude, because you'll see those guys next to basketball players and they're just like, they dwarf them. It's just it's wild. The You're just born like that, man. I don't understand.
There's no baseball players.
You can't
coming
teach that.
into the NBA. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I guess, but like, what you could say is that there's people who are good at football and basketball, and they choose basketball because they don't want, it's the contracts are guaranteed, and you don't get concussions.
Yeah, whenever I think, not to get, be all sports, but like Charlie Ward, who played at Florida State, was a quarterback, black guy, won a Heisman, super good, and then he just played for the Knicks. He just played in the. He's like, I'm gonna play in the NBA because he knew he'd make more money playing in the NBA than if he just went into the NFL draft and played football. And he played for way more, and just played for the Knicks and was cashing fat fucking checks. And but he had the ability to do both, and he chose basketball. But Julius Peppers was an awesome defensive end and was an All-American basketball player at North Carolina. You can't be any better at basketball than being like, oh, go to Duke.
But he's also like a Hall of Fame football player.
No, exactly. But what I'm saying is because he chose football, and he was a monster in football.
That's like an exception. Like when you're a Hall of Famer, it's like,
Tony Gonzalez is a Hall of Famer. Antonio Gates, and he played basketball. He was a Hall of Famer.
No, I agree.
So there's a lot of those guys who may have made that transition have put up.
But like I don't think Tony Gonzalez and Jimmy Graham are going to be like badass basketball players. They were like collegiate level.
Yeah, I mean Donovan McNabb was played at Syracuse. And
right.
Yeah, I mean so there's.
But what you're saying is Julius Peppers would have lit the NBA on fire.
Well, he was first team All-American when he played.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. That's the exception.
Yeah, like that level.
It wasn't like these guys were choosing, going in the lottery in the NBA or going to the NFL, but he might have been.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Jimmy Graham probably doesn't get a bag if he goes to the NBA, right. If he even gets in, or Tony. He doesn't have the
complexion for the NBA.
Yeah. Terrible. He's too light skinned. Number 2. First of all, have you ever seen the show Naked and Afraid?
I just heard somebody said I've watched like every episode of Naked and Afraid, and they're all the same. That's what I think one of the comedians said on the stage.
Fucking hilarious. Yeah, it's like almost the same scenarios, just interchangeable people. But you're allowed to bring an item. I did 2 items. So if you were on Naked and Afraid, which is where you're dropped off in the middle of the woods with some rando you don't know, you're butt-ass naked, and they let you bring something. So somebody's always like, some ex-military guy's like, I brought a machete, or I brought a compass, or you can bring 1 item. But in this one, we'll say you can bring 2, or maybe you can bring 2. What 2 items would you bring?
Do they give you any items?
Well, I mean, I don't think they're gonna let you die, but you don't have. You're naked, like they don't give you shit, so you're walking around.
But I have to be afraid too, right?
Well, I mean, I'd hope you'd be afraid if you're naked in the woods with a stranger for 21 days.
Speaking of mushrooms, okay, so where am I getting dropped off?
Say just like jungle-esque.
Jungle or woods?
Yeah, we'll say woods. I'd probably rather be naked in the jungle than in the woods.
Right. Well, summertime, wintertime, yeah, definitely in the jungle.
Definitely
naked.
Yeah, definitely. It's lush. It's green. It's not winter, so I'm not going to do that to you. That'd be
okay,
you'd be like blanket, like pants.
Okay. I mean, like cell phone is out, right?
Yeah, cell phone's out. 2 things that are going to help you survive while you're naked and obviously afraid, or in your case not. You're just naked in the woods and you get to bring 2 things, but they got to be
probably like a lighter and an ounce of weed. No, maybe a lighter and a cup,
A cup?
a bowl. No, a lighter and I don't know. I guess a knife, right? Like I don't want to say machete.
Well, no, but I mean that's not necessarily bad. But
A lighter and a fish hook.
see, that's what you could do, like a fish pole, fishing pole.
You can make a fishing pole with a stick, but you need
True,
the hook.
true, yeah. Well, let's say if you go fishing pole, you get the hook and everything.
Okay, fishing pole and a lighter.
Okay. See, I'm thinking I do.
Trying to get some propane with my lo mein, baby. Ooh.
I'm thinking like maybe one of those life straws, those like water purifying straws that you could drink from puddles and it makes it like non-contaminated. Alex Jones is always selling them. I'd find a good one.
You could just boil the water, bro.
Yeah, but a life straw would be good. I wouldn't even, what if I wouldn't have to worry about it? Then I'd probably get like, yeah, some sort of knife with like a flint on it or something that you could start a fire with. I don't know if I want to bring a lighter, but I'd want something to protect
Well, I'm
myself.
saying lighter for the purpose of this of the pod. Just meaning
Oh, I know. You're
like to start a fire. That's all. Something to start a fire. I don't know how to use like a flint and whatever.
I'd just be like, I'd try to figure it
But
out.
if I was going on naked and afraid, I'd try to figure it out ahead of time.
And you'd probably want to try to flex because you would be like naked and in the woods and everyone's afraid. So you'd be like, hold on, guys, I got this. I'll figure this shit out.
No, I wouldn't want to flex. I'd flex to be like, oh, look at those ass wipes with the flint. They can't even get the shit started. I brought a lighter. Guess what? If you keep the fire going, I don't have the lighter. I only use in emergencies. I get it started once, and then it's only if something catastrophic happens to the home fire.
See, and I was thinking, like, what about
Multiple fires going? You
the
know what I'm
book
saying? Redundancy.
Hatchet? Maybe I need a hatchet instead.
Yeah. You bring up fucking Hatchet again on this goddamn podcast.
Why are you hating
paying
on
us.
Hatchet?
Because we're not getting paid.
How are we gonna get paid for a classic book like Hatchet? The people
That's true. I heard that they're having financial issues since they started banning them in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I bet you they've tried to ban that. Like, he shoots birds with a homemade bow and arrow. That's terrorism. It's probably some fucking Moms for Liberty three-way love triangle bullshit. Sheesh.
I mean, you would think they would like stuff like that, but I don't know. Now it's like, oh no, he's too much like a Boy Scout, and they're trans now.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
We're scouting America for young boys to take to the world.
I was talking about that with someone, just bringing it up, and they were like, well, are the Girl Scouts like pissed now? And I was like, yeah, kinda. Like,
That's why we had Title IX, like so that women could have their own sports and shit.
oh, Southlake has denounced all of Joe Biden's modifications to Title IX for inclusion in schools, and they're gonna. It's like this huge, like wild, fucking crazy shit show. But they had released something. I was reading it on Twitter the other day. It's like, we renounce.
Shout out them.
It literally reads like a crazy person. Like, we renounce Joe Biden's Title IXs. I'm like, what? Who for fucking Patriot Mobile typed this up for y'all?
Yeah.
Question number 3. Would you rather be abducted by aliens and missing for 2 weeks, or captured by a jungle tribe and go missing for 2 weeks? You come back okay, but if you had to pick one, you either get snatched up, maybe cannibal, maybe not. You don't know. It's just a jungle tribe.
Well, it doesn't matter if they're cannibal if I'm coming back.
Well, yeah, but you don't know what they're going to do. All right, you might come back.
What?
Would you rather be captured and held captive in the jungle,
Yes.
or abducted by aliens?
Jungle.
Well, why would you pick jungle?
Because A, they're humans. You know, I don't fuck with aliens like that. Like, you know, it's like I don't know any aliens. Like, you know, at least these guys are human. Also, jungle tribe definitely gonna have some like drugs I want to take. Like that, you know, like
okay.
that bootleg shit. Like you know
bootleg
what I'm saying?
ayahuasca.
Yeah, dude, like you know, I'm saying like that shit that like 50 years from now they're gonna like, you know, be like popping in the club.
Yeah.
That, you know, out there in the jungle.
You're gonna hurt your neck.
And plus, I'm naked and afraid.
Yeah.
Like a jungle tribe, I don't have to survive. They already figured the shit out. They can feed me.
See, it seems like the safest bet is jungle tribe, but abducted by aliens, just who knows? What if they're chill? They whip you around
I'll
the
let
galaxy.
somebody else do that. Tell me how it is. You know, I'll watch the 60 minutes on it. I don't need to be involved. You know, if I'm gonna do ass play, I don't want it to be with like
in a cold lab.
I just want it to be with somebody with like human DNA.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, but I go abducted by aliens, bro.
Really?
Yeah, just for
you, Mr. Risk Adverse.
Just, I feel like I know I'm coming back.
Dude, you go to that jungle tribe. I mean, at least me, I could come back a chief.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Take over and then have some corny ass movie where the white guy saves all the brown people, you know, from the jungle.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think they tried to write the script for that.
The White Knight. The White Knight.
Yeah, I think they tried to write a script for that movie hundreds of years ago. And it was called Slavery.
Hundreds of times.
It's called Slavery. So I'd probably stay away. We don't need a sequel.
Shout out. Conquistador shit.
You don't read
Conquistador shit.
Definitely should never be remade. They should.
Hey man, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes.
That's incredible. But Jungle Tribe, I guess
that's the white man's instinct immediately is to become the
yeah,
take over the tribe.
I gotta save everyone. I gotta teach them about Jesus, and I gotta bring them home.
That's right.
Look who I found in the jungles, baby. They were like living in huts, and I just had to bring them home to save them. She's like, "Oh, you're such a great man. Let's take them to church." Like that's. Oh, we're coming from it. I already trust me. That's where the bus dropped us off.
Well, also, you know, I had to preach them the good word about Christ coin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't have access to
every good follower,
crypto wallets out there.
Every good law-abiding, constitutional believing Christian has a crypto wallet, and if you're going to have a crypto wallet, it's got to be a Christ crypt crypto wallet.
The Pantheon Exchange.
Yeah, CC. You can look it up for it on the App Store. It's 2 C's with a cross through it.
That's right.
Christ coin.
And where you can stake Jesus and stake our coin.
I hope nobody steals that. All right, number 4. I've thought about this. If you were to start a criminal organization or crime syndicate, what would your main source of income be?
Drugs.
Really? See, I think that's such a bad idea. It's
Why?
I think it's too.
Because then I have free drugs. That's the way I thought about it. It's like I don't want to be smuggling.
Mr. Goodley. On that sober train.
Well,
but if he decides to get back into,
but if I'm like running a criminal organization,
yeah. But if I happen to fall into the head of a criminal organization,
I'm gonna have to break the 10 crack commandments, and I'm gonna have to get high on my own supply.
See,
like there has to be a period where, you know, I'm a megalomaniac on coke. The feds are after me. The federales, like, you know, like I have to play the role.
You're at a Netflix special. There's a helicopter outside, and you know it's for you.
Yeah.
You know they're watching you. Yeah.
You tell me I'm gonna go through that sober? I don't think so.
See, I'd want to be some like jewel thief shit. I'd want to have like a ring of jewel thieves and like melt down jewelry and sell shit off. And so that it was always like, who the fuck are these people? Dealing drugs, I feel like it ends up becoming such a big like flashy thing. I mean, you watch The Wire, it's like you can't, you know, everybody's.
Well, how about this? Just the fact that cocaine is being produced at all-time levels in 2024, like this is not 1984, just proves the staying power of these drug lords.
That's true.
It's not going anywhere, you know.
It is wild to think.
And once you get to a certain level, like the stability, is valued by like the law enforcement and shit, and so you kind of just get to stay there.
Do the Chapo bit and just be like building schools.
Well, no, he's the one who got caught.
Well, I know, but I'm thinking like Chapo or Pablo Escobar.
I'm talking about the people that we don't know.
building
you know.
school. Well, that's the only they build schools and hospitals.
Right. Well, that's how you get like the people on your side. So
pay
then
for
it makes
kids
it
to go to
hard for,
law school.
Right. Right. There's that. But no, I'm just talking about. It's like they like the DEA and everybody knows they're not going to end the cocaine trade. So they get to a point where it's like, okay, if we can work with this dude and he's not murdering like government officials like in the streets, you know, we can totally, we'll let him just do his coke and hang out.
Yeah, it's wild to think that you could be kidnapped by a jungle tribe and then stumble across some like drug lord in the Amazon rainforest fucking compound. And that's just like where this dude hangs out, and
And
everybody.
you're still naked and afraid.
And,
Like, dude, somebody get this dude some pants.
yeah, where the fuck is this guy coming from, dude? And why are your kids acting like tribesmen again? Knock it off. This is weird. Get me off.
Oh, you got a letter though? Because I lost mine.
Oh, fuck yeah. What does this guy have, a fucking life straw? What is this, dude? We got running water out here. You think the water...
Dude, let me blow a line out the life straw.
Yeah, let me do it. Let me do it. No, but I mean, there are some of those guys that have existed. Like they just caught one of them not too long ago, where they just exist for like 45 years in some mansion ass compound. No one fucks with them. It's like honestly, some like cartoon movie type shit.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, you know, that's
No, if you had to pick a continent or an area of the world to have your crime syndicate, where would it be? Because right now we're just basically talking like South America, where it's very
South America sounds nice if you're a drug lord.
That sounds,
you know what I'm saying?
that's very American of us. We're like, oh,
Well, no, that's where the
Mexico
drugs are.
well, I know, but I mean, it'd be cool to have to be like
Ask Europe where they're getting them. It's
like
South America.
like a Siberian drug lord and live in some castle.
Why would you? You're trading out some of the most beautiful. Like we would be in South America all the time if we didn't fuck it up. Like in the 50s and 60s. You know, it's like if South America was like a thriving like Canada type shit. You know, or like Hawaii. Like, you know, like we would just be down there all the time. Like that's probably why like they want it to be a shit show, because like it'd be a mass exodus of like, you know, it was like democratic and free, because like it's like tropical and like beautiful and shit, you know.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So why would I go to Siberia?
That'd just be tight. It'd be like the only black,
That's Navalny House, Siberia.
only the only black Serb like hanging out. Be like, what's up? What's my castle? What it do?
Well, Serbia is different than Siberia.
Yeah, Serbia, Siberia, either way.
No, well, Siberia is like
Or an
the
African,
it's like the
to be
frozen tundra.
to be like in the Congo, that would be wild. Be like a Congolese drug lord. I guess that'd be kind of bad. That'd be
Nah,
instant
bro.
war. That sounds like
There's been like
that's
6 military coups in the last 2
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
like,
never
right
mind.
there
Yeah, never mind. That's a bad
in
idea.
Central Africa. Yeah, dude. No.
And South America's got
There's about
their-
to be a literal genocide in Sudan right now,
dude.
in Darfur, where where we all like got up in arms like 20 years ago. Yeah, it's like happening right now.
Talk about purposely keeping a place a shit show for one's financial gain.
I don't know if it's like, you know, it's like this the global global like.
No, I'm not saying it's a conspiracy. I'm saying that like throughout history, there's governments that are like, oh, okay, they loan a shit ton of money to Africa. Then Africa defaults. Some of these countries and these governments default on these loans, and then they'll come in and take their natural resources to pay out the debts. They'll be like, oh, well, we're gonna come.
That's like happening in real time with China, and they're just all in at. They're just all
Yeah, exactly.
and then also the Wagner Group out of Russia. So China's providing infrastructure to African countries in exchange for, guess what? They're just gonna swoop all this shit that they're gonna get, like
natural resources.
Once they were there, they're like, what are you gonna do? And then the Wagner Group keeps like these like military dudes like in power and provides them security.
Are they still a group? Like
Yeah.
who's like?
Yeah, dude.
Like
Yeah,
who's in charge of
trust
that?
me, they're in full effect, dude. Like they're in Mali. Like they just had a coup and they're in Mali and like just hanging out. But that's one country. They're in 17 different countries in Africa.
Wow.
So.
All right, well that's it for therapy questions.
All right. Would you like to say a break and then we go into the topics.
Yeah, if you need to take a break, yeah, I'm down.
All right.
When are we back? Oh, we're back.
And we're back, everybody. Time for the topics of the day. I feel like it's just like I came up with the idea of us switching it up, like maybe like I don't know, late last week or whatever. And then I'm looking for topics, and I feel like it's like back in the day when I used to put the topics in when the podcast first started. Because what do we have, ladies and gentlemen? GameStop is up 200% since Monday. We're recording this on Tuesday. It's up to
I think it closed at 50.
48.75. However, during the break, I was talking to the Iron 8, who might be watching this right now, and he sent me the Robinhood chart for after hours trading,
Yeah.
and the shit's up to $60.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. $60 in after hours, so it's up another 30% from where it was at Tuesday, which was up from where it was at Monday, which was up ridiculous.
It was $2.91 from a Friday starting point of $2.91 per share. It's at 60. That's wild. So do you want to talk about what propelled this resurgence?
Well,
Roaring Kitty. What is this Roaring Kitty?
Do you know anything about it?
I mean, I'm not that many details about it.
His real name, Roaring Kitty. Okay, so I put in a couple articles here. Like I was just trying to just give you information.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Roaring Kitty, his real name's Keith Patrick Gill. He was like a part of the like meme stock shit that Paul Dano played him in the movie, Dumb Money, which is about the GameStop meme stock stuff that happened. And so he was like posting stuff on Reddit and writing it out, and then he signed off. Like I think it was during the squeeze, maybe like the first one, or maybe it was after. I don't know. I was kind of high when I was watching the movie. The Iron 8 fell asleep. I didn't research it, but anyway, so he's been off of Twitter, and then out of nowhere he just posted on X now after 3 years, and that was Sunday night, and then the shit just popped off. But what's also happened is all the other meme stocks are popping off because the short sellers are getting nervous now. So just real quick for the audience, GameStop was heavily shorted back in 2021, and a bunch of Reddit users they started buying it to squeeze the short sellers. And but so everybody kind of knows that. I just want to clarify what a short seller is. It's they borrow shares of a stock, so they borrow shares of GameStop, sell them out, and then they expect it to go down. So when it goes down like super cheap, they rebuy them super cheap, and then give them to back to the people they borrowed them from. So and then they make the difference. So whenever the stock's going up, they freak out, and they have to buy the stock so that they can give it back to the people. And because if it keeps going up, they have to buy it higher and higher. So they have to give the shares back. So what happens is that the stock starts going up. All of them leave their short position, start buying the stock, and it makes it go up even more. And that's what the squeeze is.
Okay. Okay. And so now it's just on another skyrocket. That's crazy. Yeah, it's at a
Yeah.
close
So
of
yeah,
50.87.
50. Yeah, well, yeah, 50.87, but it's up at 60 at the after hours. I read an article that said that this was going to be different than the last one, and not as big because all the people, like, during the pandemic, had money and time, and now they're back to their jobs. I don't know about that. I think, like, you have to look at see how many people are going to get squeezed here and see how high it could go. Plus, it could be like a whole nother resurgence. Now, there's been a movie about it. Like, there could be like other people who get in that weren't in the first time that, missed out on the first one. So they want to get on this one. So it could be like even crazier.
Yeah, now, what is this? Because now they're saying that this is what's going to happen with Truth Social and that it's rebounding. And part of it rebounding is because so many people are short selling Truth Social.
Well, yeah. So that's not because, like, that's them hedging. It's like they're scared that it could happen to True Social, like the short sellers. However, I don't see it. Like, especially with GameStop in there, like, there's only so much money to go around.
Yeah. I mean, that's just Trump media has a relatively large percentage of ups and downs on a daily basis, but nowhere near as.
Like, well, his is different. It's not like connected to this. It is a meme stock. There is no fundamental saying that it should be worth billions of dollars. Like, absolutely not. It shouldn't even be a fucking company. And like, their accounting firm just found out. So the firm accounting firm for True Social, they've done like 175 public offerings, and 75% of them were fraudulent. So like how pissed are all these other companies that worked with this shady ass accounting firm that got them public? Like they worked with Trump, and so then they're like, oh, let's take a look at like what accounting firm would put their like name on the line like for True Social, this like bullshit company. They looked into it. They found out that like almost all the companies that went public with them were fraud. They banned them for life and like fined them. So that's happening with Trump. Like, GameStop's a real company. It's like they
No,
have like a
no, I
billion dollars
know.
of cash.
I think they're
So
just saying
so
there's a
it's
lot
just
of
it's
people.
just different things. Yeah.
I think,
And
but
and who's trying to pump the Trump stock? Like, what I'm saying? It doesn't have like a Reddit movement like that.
well, I think that some people are like, oh, well, they could do it to this too,
They could, but
just
like it
because.
would just be different if they did. It would be different people.
No, no, no. But I don't think that they realize that. So the people who are saying, "Oh, well, this could potentially be the same thing is the Trump stock, the new AMC stock," because they're just like, "Oh, well, these people just want to make money,"
Right. Right. Yeah. So that's different. Yeah. It
and
is the
so
meme
you
stock.
could
It
do
is the
that.
memeiest meme stock of all of meme land, the Trump one. But it's just not connected to this because the reason why I'm saying that is AMC's up because of this. Um, uh, all the old meme stocks, like BlackBerry's up because of this, because those are all like they all happened at the same time, and they're all the same people. So the short sellers on those companies are buying up the stock as to hedge their shorts on it, or just to cover them. That's what they call it. It's just covering your short
Yeah,
by just buying the stock and then just giving it back.
I mean, makes sense. Yeah, massive fraud. The SEC announced May 3rd in a release. Gruber S. Gruel, director of the SEC's Division of Enforcement. B.F. Borgers, called B.F. Borgers CPA's PC a sham audit mill.
The other thing in the article that said it wasn't going to have legs, as the Iron 8 put it, was that companies got a lot of the people aren't going as hard on shorting these companies because of that. What happened a couple years ago?
Yeah.
But I think what that person's failing to like realize is that the squeeze didn't fully squeeze last time, you know. So it's like it doesn't matter if there's less people involved. Like there's still a shit ton of money involved that you know they can make this shit surge. And I'll just end it with this: the Iron 8 hasn't sold. Diamond Hands, Diamond Hands. You know, uh, he thinks it's going to be over 100 by the end of the week. Not
What
a financial advisor.
what's his limit for selling out?
I asked him that. He said he doesn't know,
Hmm.
but we'll find out.
I mean, it's a lot. Well, if he does, he has to let us know.
Yeah, well, he'll keep us. I mean, he'll be our go-to GameStop corresponder out there in the streets, making it happen. You know, he's embedded with the apes. Speaking of Planet of the Apes,
Does Trump sell his 6 billion in shares whenever he can at the end of September?
yes, he's trying to sell it now. He's like, yo, he's probably like he's trying to borrow like against it, and he can't get anybody. Like nobody would loan him. They're like, yeah, right, dude. It's like that's not going to be worth anything in 6 months. You know, I mean, it's like that's what as far as banks, like they don't want to take that risk. Like I'm not saying it's going to go to zero in 6 months because you know it's acting irrationally. It's like they can be hard R retarded longer than you know people could be solvent.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But it's cool. I mean, it's like you know, here we are. Roaring Kitty's back, dude. Oh, also,
And it says they've,
Tupperware.
they've lost more than 2 billion as the meme stock rally continues. Short sellers have lost hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and it's not over. Um, Also, the crypto coin Tupperware, Tup, that's up
Top.
a thousand shit coins are up because of this.
Damn.
I don't know.
I'm so glad I'm out of the shitcoin business.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad I didn't get sucked into it. You know,
Yeah, to where I've been.
I scalped the big boys and got out. But yeah, like to make that like, you know, it's like day trading. 90% of the people lose. Like you get it, like you got to be disciplined. You got to get in where you know, like it was a once in a, we thought it was a once in a lifetime thing with the AMC, GameStop, Shiba, Doge. But here we are again, part two. Diamond hands, diamond hands.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Moving on. So, moving on to this article I got on CNN, and it is written by Kylie Atwood, Jack Forrest, and Rob Pachetta. And the article, I'm not going to read the article, but it talks about how our Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, is in Kyiv right now in Ukraine, meeting with Zelensky. First time, you know, we've had like an official out there since we gave him the $61 billion for military aid that the Republicans sat on for 6 months. And like now that like us not giving them like the aid for 6 months was a huge problem. Like they're starting to lose territory. Kharkiv, which is like a big city in like east northeast Ukraine, like it got captured by the Russians at the beginning of the war. The Ukrainians took it back, and now Russia looks like they're about to swoop it again. So that's not going in the right direction. However, the weapons are going to help. Um, we gave them ATACMs, which are like our missiles, like guided missiles that can go like 150 miles or 200 miles, like accurately. And we've been not wanting to give them to them because like it can like attack, like it could hit like far into Russia, and we didn't want like that to escalate things because they have like American weapons hitting like Russian soil, and but that's like us self-deterring. So now they have those, and so now they're able to like blow up shit in Crimea, which is Ukraine, you know, but like Russia seized it, but that's they have like weapons depots and fuel depots in there, and like they're just like blowing that shit up because of the weapons we just sent them. But like the big part about this article is like what I've been yelling to myself, like because like I'm you know listening now I'm like listening to foreign like affairs podcasts like almost 8 hours a day because like I'm listening to it during work, whether I'm driving or like
Yeah, that
out
makes
like
sense.
at a pool. So like I'm just it's like that the United States and Europe have hundreds of billions of dollars of Russian assets frozen, but like they don't like they just froze them so the Russians can't access it. But it's like they were hesitant to use that money to give to Ukraine, and finally the Congress passed a bill, so now the United States can use the frozen assets to help, and all the money's going to go to help build Ukraine. But I mean, like that's a huge deal. Like, so then they can use money for other shit. And it's like something like nine, and then Europe passed a bill that where at least because like they're all like a couple countries are like, I don't want you to take my money, and it's like, well then don't fucking invade a country when we won't. Like they're just worried about fucking the money up and like what it's gonna do. And it's like I think it's like so hyperbolic. It's like, how about this? Think about what like the consequences of not doing this are. Like this could be a deterrent. It's not gonna be like people are like, oh, now I'm not gonna like invest in the or not gonna have my investments in dollars
Yeah.
because if I invade a country, they're gonna take them. No, they're gonna be like, oh, maybe I'm not gonna invade a country because they're gonna take my money.
How much?
Because
How much was it?
it's like 400 billion in Europe and like a couple hundred billion in the United States. So it's like less than a trillion, but it's over 500 billion.
Is what they've just snatched up and are holding.
Well, they just have it frozen, and then so the Europeans, they're getting interest on that, and or like the Russians are earning interest on it. So the Europeans have taken the interest, and now they're giving that to Ukraine. The United States are just going to start giving the frozen assets, I believe, to the Ukrainians, Russians. So like if they just get like 100 or not like 100, like let's say they gave them like $300 billion, like that like solves so many problems because knowing that you have that money, like moving forward, makes like you able to plan, and
Yeah.
then like yeah, so to me it's like we're all like I'm worried about Ukraine falling here, and we have this like we're like debating whether or not like this hypothetical shit in the future would happen if we just took the money. It's like just take the fucking money,
But you've already
worry about it
taken
like
it.
like later.
You've already got it frozen.
Right, but I mean that doesn't mean anything. You can't use it. Like the Ukrainians can't use it if it's frozen in Russian accounts, like in the United States.
Dude, that's wild to just have that much money like frozen and suspended in time.
Well, well. This is the problem. It's not Putin's money; it's the Russian people's money, and so that's kind of like the argument that like lawyers are making. But it's like this is real. We don't need to get those fucking lawyers out of here.
Yeah.
So I hope things start turning around. Like Ukraine needs to like right now, like they just need to hold down like the fort, and then next year they'll like finally have like the F-16s in the air. And I think like because Russia can't even get air superiority right now,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
yeah, so like when they have like our planes up there, like then things can start to flip. But like expect this war to go on like I don't know, dude, like 10 years.
You think?
Yeah, I mean because I mean I don't see unless like the United I mean like Estonia just said that they might send in troops. Uh, Emmanuel Macron, the Prime Minister of France, he like about like 3 weeks ago said he didn't take it off the table that he would send in French troops, and like everybody's like, holy shit, like what an escalation, blah blah blah. It's like, and the way that I see it, it's like, dude, this is like so serious, and Putin has changed his entire economy to a wartime economy. He actually just replaced. I can't believe I didn't mention this. His defense minister Sergey, um, fuck, I forget his like how to say his Russian ass name, but he got replaced. He's been the like basically like the Secretary of Defense for Russia since 2012. He got replaced this week with an economist who's like not a military guy, and it's basically so that he can like flip the Russian economy into a war fighting machine. So if Russia's doing this, and like when countries do that, it makes it really hard for them to stop like like war because that's their entire economy is based upon it.
Yeah.
So like they're gonna look for other shit, and like I don't think that people like are really realize like in like I'm talking about like countries and governments don't realize like we're in the middle of like World War III. Like this is Germany invading Poland. Like this is that. Like and like to do like half measures and shit to not check Russia is like
Yeah, then it's
like
just
it
it's
is just
pointless.
it's no, it's just making it more and more true, you know, like that like unless it's like it's like inconvenient that there's a war in Europe, but like we need to act as if like this is like an existential threat because it is. Like this maniac obviously doesn't give a fuck about anything, and he's turning his entire economy into this thing to, you know, cause fucking mayhem and murder and rape.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're worried about like what Israel's doing to Gazans, it's like Putin's doing that every fucking day to Ukrainians for 2.5 years now.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, and they're white people, everybody.
No, like some of them, they're literally like related. You've got
Well, they're related, yeah. Like they have these glide bombs now that are like just uh, dumb bomb, like the like glider like bombs, and then they like upgrade them a little bit, like to where they have like some sort of capability of like aiming, but they just like slide them into like apartments and shit, and like into the Russia or into the Ukrainian troops, and like just like discriminately, and it's just like it's like hard to like deal with them because they're like low. I think they're below like the air defenses and shit.
damn. That'd be shitty. Get hit with a paper plane. Blasted. All right, this the next one's crazy.
All right. Next article, also from CNN. Well, that's actually is from Reuters. CNN just posted it. Okay. An unknown number of orcas have sunk a sailing yacht after ramming in Moroccan waters in the Strait of Gibraltar. Spain's Maritime Rescue Service said on Monday, a new attack in what has become a trend in the past 4 years. The I got an ad pop up. Hold up. The vessel, Alboran Cognac. That's got to be black people, right?
That's a badass name.
Alboran Cognac, which measured 15 meters, 49 feet. Okay, all right, shout out. I used to, I sailed on a 45-foot catamaran in the Caribbean. 49, that's pretty big. Or not like huge, but then carried two people. It encountered the highly social apex predators, also known as killer whales, at 9 a.m. local time Sunday. The passengers reported feeling sudden blows to the hull and rudder before water started seeping into the ship. After alerting the rescue services, a nearby oil tanker took them on board and transported them to Gibraltar. The yacht was left adrift and eventually sank. The incident is the latest example of recurring orca rammings around Gibraltar Strait that separates Europe from Africa and off the Atlantic coast of Portugal and northwestern Spain. Experts believe them to involve a subpopulation of about 15 individuals given the designation Gladys. According to the research group GTOA, which tracks populations of the Iberian orca subspecies, there have been nearly 700 interactions since orca attacks on ships in the region were first reported May 2020. I wonder if this is like anything to do with COVID and like shipping routes and shit.
Yeah, maybe. I
Research,
mean, that's wild. That'd be shitty to get rolled up on by a pack of orcas.
dude, and it's only 15 of them, and they're like wrecking this much havoc over this much time.
Just like fucking people shit up. There's a crazy video of a orca eating a great white shark, and you just see
What?
this. You see it, or because they eat sharks. Orcas eat sharks. They're
I didn't know.
huge.
Well, I didn't know great white sharks.
Yeah, I mean, they can eat some great whites, man. They're
I thought
fucking
they were eating
huge.
dolphins.
They'll eat anything, but they'll eat sharks to fuck them up. The video of the shark, like, and then
They're like the
it's
raccoon
like
of the sea.
it's like a rocket, man. Just boom, just like snatches this thing up. Like, I swear, it'd be like if you were riding on a fucking train and you grab somebody's arm, picked them up. It's like if you snatch somebody up like that, like some. That sounds bad. Snatch up some kid on a train. But if you were to pick up somebody that did not weigh much and just yank them at high speed, that's what it looks like. Orcas are scary as shit. They're awesome.
Well, I know
They're
that.
super. They're super smart, and they're intense as fuck. I would not be.
They ride in family gangs. I know that.
You watch Blackfish. There's one that's like, what's his name? Telecom was like
You want me to bust out
kill.
the name of the killer whale from the sad documentary Blackfish?
Yeah, that's his name.
You didn't even say it right.
Well, how did you say it?
What'd you say?
I thought it was like Telecom or something. What is it?
Telecom.
No,
I have no clue. But,
no,
I knew you didn't say it right because you like half said it and like stumbled over it.
Well, because it's a weird fucking name. But kill two of its trainers whenever they walk in there catching it.
Yeah, but as it should.
It's like playing with its dead body. You're like, that's some crazy shit. And I think that,
bro, if you were like in solitary, like for no.
I ain't hating on him for doing it. Just say that's fucking wild. So imagine you're on a boat and you got a pack of these things beating the shit out of your boat. Like, that's why I say, like, I don't fuck with the ocean like that.
Yeah, like whale watching. Yeah, tight, but I'd rather just like, I guess like maybe I'm spoiled because I grew up in California and live out here now, like for the last 20 years, and but like to go in a boat where the whales are seems dangerous. You know, like just like what if they accidentally come up like under your boat?
Yeah, it'd fuck you up.
Right. So I'd rather just like, because I've seen like you get like you just see dolphins and shit, like you're hanging out at the fucking beach.
Yeah, because like let me see here. I'm gonna look this up real quick.
What are you looking up? Fucking shit. You know how like ubiquitous Shamu was when we were kids, and like do you think the kids nowadays even know who Shamu is, or have they like tried to wipe that like after Blackfish like from the lexicon?
I think they totally tried to erase that
Shamu who? That's what
there was a 60-year-old there was a 2022 a video that I've seen captured a single orca believed to be a 60-year-old grandmother whale kills a great white shark off the coast of South Africa. Well, I don't know why motherfuckers swim off the coast of South Africa. Why they swim
because they're South African
or Australia,
and they've got waves. They got waves, man. And the summer.
Fuck that, dude. You be out there and be like great white shark, and then some GG ass orca rolls up and just snatches that shark. Nah, bro.
You don't think Nelson Mandela was out there just swimming? Just kidding. He was locked up.
Yeah. He's like, I miss the ocean. I bet you do, Nelson. Keep it down in there. Keep it down in there.
I think Mr. Mandela got into my drugs.
Yeah, you keep it down in there. Quit looking out the window.
All right. Well, you know, shout out to orcas, but do you think that they're like attacking, trying to play?
No, I think they attack ships because at this point, generationally, they're like, oh, like boats attack us, hunt us. I think that's like that would be like the humans have become over time more of a predator to things in the ocean.
What do you mean more of a time? We've always been a predator, apex predator, motherfuck.
Nah, bro, the killer whale would fuck us up. It's sinking our boat. They're sinking our boat.
I'll just get some Japanese people to come over and do some whaling.
What I'm saying is, you got like there's some
allegedly
like, some little badass fucking whale running around just sinking people's ships. That's crazy.
But now that I think about it, so I saw this thing. It's like a Planet Earth. It's like in that series type thing, but or that type of style. And it was like this family of orcas that like where they were, like the shore of where they were, it was like a weird tide where like the break would be right there at the shore, and then they could get like these like fish or seals or something, but you could get stuck like out on the sand if you didn't time it right. So like they like created this whole like unique style of like how to like kill these like seals like based upon this thing. So that does make sense that it's like it's like a pack of 15, and they probably like fucked up a ship one time and like got like just like feasted, like, you know, like it was like Titanic type bodies in the water, but and then they're like, oh, we got to learn how to do that again. But I don't think they realized that they'll just be like eating boat most of the time.
Yeah, but I think they're just looking for the people. They're like, fuck them.
Right. But I'm saying like how they develop that technique.
Like
You know,
that's an intense pod
are they a pod?
of whales. I think it would be right. That would be intense.
Why would it be a pod? I thought that was dolphins.
Maybe I'm just winging it. Let me wing it, man.
They're called Gladys.
All right. Well, these 15 glad eye running around but beating the shit out of people's boats is awesome. I'd rather be some hardcore ass fucking orca whale than be a shark.
Dude, the glad eyes like sounds like something a priest gives you right before he molests you.
Jesus.
Okay. Real quick, we don't have to get into this one. But just because it was feeling like the old pod, we had brought up on the old pod that El Salvador. I think you were on that. Were you on that episode?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were buying,
wow.
yeah. They were buying Bitcoin. It was like episode 10. It was like Joseph's first time on the podcast but he was a guest. And we brought up how the president of El Salvador was like switching their currency to Bitcoin, and we thought that was like crazy. Well, like they I thought like when you're looking at the numbers here of how much Bitcoin they have in mind, I like it sounds like it would be like worth so much more than it actually is. But I guess it's El Salvador, so it's like I don't know how much money they really need.
Yeah.
But so they have 354 million in Bitcoin, but at current prices, but they've mined nearly 474 Bitcoins in the last 3 years. So like I didn't think about that, where it's like he's not just buying up the Bitcoin, but he's like invested into these like geothermal
Yeah, that's wild. There's a
mining operation. Yeah.
power plant,
Yeah.
volcano powered power plant
'Cause I
for
didn't know
your
that was going to be a
crypto
part of
mine.
I didn't know that was a part of the plan. I thought he was just going to like let's take all the cash we have and then exchange it for Bitcoin. Like, but like you put like a nation state's resources to go mine Bitcoin, like these crypto bros are out of luck with your supercomputers or whatever in Wyoming. The Chinese, they're out of luck.
Dude,
But
that like when I saw that, I was like, that's badass.
yeah, but it was like 473 Bitcoins, and it was like, yeah, it's worth 29 million. I was like, what? That sounds like it would be worth so much more.
He has installed 300 processors to mine bitcoins from the volcano. That's like a evil layer. They're like Doctor Evil, but of Bitcoin in your underground volcano layer. That's a James Bond villain.
Yeah, have you seen what this guy looks like? The president of El Salvador? He's like our age, and he like talks shit. He looks like Drake, like an El Salvadorian Drake.
You need to buy Bitcoin.
And he talks shit like that too. I heard him recently talking about he's like this is his flex. Like he knows he's a dictator, and he's like, we're talking about being a dictator, and then he's like, what about a country that is putting their number one like presidential candidate rival on trial? We don't do that here in El Salvador. He's like talking about Trump being on trial in the United States. It's like, okay, dude, shut the fuck up. But he also wants you to know that he is a dictator. He's like not even worried about being called that.
Yeah.
Okay, final article. It's 8. Yeah, I think it's 8, right? Hold on. I was reading it. Okay. Yeah, so 8 TikTok creators are suing the United States government for the potential ban. Again, on this podcast, it's not a fucking ban. It's the second legal challenge to the new law, which, for the listeners, Congress passed and then Joe Biden signed into law that TikTok has, 12 months? Was it 12 months or 6 months?
I think it was 12 months.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking 6 months before it happened, but 12 months to for ByteDance, their parent company, a Chinese company, to divest from TikTok and in replace of American investors, or they have to be banned from the country. So I don't want to read the article on this. I just want to talk about First of all, this is not a ban of TikTok, but there's okay. Well, I do want to talk about the article. I'm just not going to read it. But these TikTokers are saying that it's blocking their free speech rights because they make money on TikTok, and that the government can't like just take away this like platform for them to express themselves. It's like this is I don't this is so dumb to me because like they're not banning TikTok. And okay, they're saying and this is all what when I'm saying like what they're saying, it's not like they're saying this out loud like in the lawsuit. Is saying that they're taking away an entire medium from the American public. They're going because 127 million people, you're taking a whole medium. It's like TikTok didn't invent this. Like TikTok, you're Vine, like Vine was like TikTok, like like
Yeah.
you guys, yeah, you guys didn't invent this. Like TikTok, what it really is, it was an app called Musically, out of LA, I think, or the United States, and I think it was the United States, but maybe not. But it was called Musically, and ByteDance bought that and turned it into TikTok. But also Vine was just TikTok. They just didn't like Twitter owned it and they just gave up on it. But so like they're saying that like it's like a whole like they won't be able to do what they do anymore. And it's like no, there's like IG Reels because Facebook owns that and they steal everything.
YouTube Shorts.
YouTube Shorts, right? It like yeah, there's all these other places. So then one of the guys like in the lawsuit is like he's like yeah, but I post every single one of the videos I do on TikTok onto Instagram, and look at the like I have so many more followers on TikTok than on Instagram. It's like, dude, like that is not a legal argument, you know?
Yeah.
Like that, like oh, because I've got more followers on Instagram, like I'm gonna sue the United States. Like, no. Okay, then another thing that they point out in the lawsuit, and I can't believe everybody thinks that this is like a win for them, like and haven't just taken the next step. But in the lawsuit, they say they're doing it for political reasons because of what's happening in Gaza, and then they even use what Mitt Romney said like 2 weeks ago as like a part of their like lawsuit, which he said that the amount of like content taken in like pro Palestinian content on taken in from people on TikTok is like exponentially more than on any other social media site.
Yeah.
And so they're like, see, it's about that. It's because we're all like learning about that. And they don't want us to like know about that, so they're banning it. It's like no, what it like to it's proof to me that the Chinese are putting the thumb on the scale because it's an algorithm, right? It's the only one where you're not choosing what to see. Like it's choosing for you. It's not like, it's like you can go to the section and like see my friends or whatever, but it's like and who you follow. But and so it people aren't clicking on like pro-Palestinian shit. It's feeding you that like at an exponential rate. And so
Yeah.
it's making it go viral. The algorithm like is not like people.
Well,
So
yeah. I mean, and they've already.
I mean, so like if we don't like, and I'm sure the senators and got briefed into that, and I can't really say it, because like probably how we know that, like they don't want to like blow that up.
Yeah.
So
I could see them not wanting to do
right, so
that.
they're like, yeah, that's like because they all flipped really quickly, on this, like when it happened. Like a lot of people were like, oh, I don't know, and then it was like all of a sudden like just like bipartisan, everybody was like, yeah. So like I feel like that they got the information. That's another thing, like also in the lawsuit that they're like they haven't given any proof of this, that like China's like the Chinese Communist Party's involved, and it's like okay, well, like they don't necessarily. I mean, if they need to provide it in a legal sense, they might do that, but they don't have to give it to the public right now. Also, it's not going to get banned unless the Chinese are using the algorithm to influence the American society and don't want us to find that out, and so like won't let them sell it to Americans. And then in that case it should be banned, obviously. And
Yeah, that makes sense.
also this is America. Okay? If TikTok is no longer there, you like that means there's a vacuum of like a company will just do the fucking same thing. The thing is the algorithm is the money. It like that is what it is. It's like IG Reels is trying to do the same thing, but like the algorithm is like the like top of the line hot like state of the art artificial intelligence in the game right now. Like it's not like all this like scientific shit. Like because like people like probably don't even realize that like with TikTok because it's like a consumer facing like brand where it's like, oh, it's an app, like it shows videos, but it's like no, like the compute behind that is like literally next to none as far as like what's going on and how they're like able to you know know what you want to see.
Yeah, and feed you what you want, and then
Right.
like,
And then occasionally feed you what they want.
and then it like perpetuates itself more and more and continues to grow and grow. It like snowballs. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't. That's
Yeah,
dumb.
and then we said it a million times. Like, we have a law that says that no foreign person can own more than 30% of a broadcast network or a media company in this country. We made Rupert Murdoch the head of Fox Corporation, Fox Corp. He's Australian. We made him become a United States citizen before we let him buy Fox, and then he could destroy the country with Fox News. That was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Well, at least he was an American while he did it.
right. So it's not unprecedented. In TikTok's, you're right. It has 127 million people on it and Americans on it. So a foreigner can't be in charge of that. I'm sorry. Like we already had that law. And it's not going anywhere. It's going to be American. It'll probably be better, except for they're not going to sell you the algorithm. So it is going to go away. But whatever. I mean, like think about this. Like every social media company, it comes and it goes. Like, and nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean, people
like
are just
where like
goofy.
MySpace was here. Like
you're gonna
so
sue
people move
them
on.
because you're taking away a medium. That's like
It's not a medium though. Oh no,
that's-
they're saying the entire medium. It's like they're saying like it is. You're taking away TV, and it's like no, it's a TV station.
yeah,
It's a platform on a medium. It's not. They're saying it's the entire thing, and it's like no.
Let's go to Rumble.
Yeah, dude. No, not an endorsement.
No, yeah, Rumble's pretty wild from what I understand. There's all sorts of wild shit on there.
Yeah, that's like a more competent True Social.
But imagine if you had a bunch of stock and like the social media apps like racists use and like Ku Klux Klan people use, and it's all only people that really use it, and then it blows up later and stock goes through the roof. It's like, yeah, man, I had a bunch of Rumble stock. And it just blew the fuck up.
I just could tell where the climate was going.
Yeah, I knew.
I mean, I'm not against that necessarily. Like, I had a bunch of BP stock. Like, that was like my first big play, and like it was huge. Like, I bought it at when it was at an all-time low, and it like fucking like 5x on me. But it was fucking British gas station.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't be against like more or both of those things more.
Yeah, because I'm paying tax.
The money was there.
Money to the
actually,
queen.
The reason why I did it was he said he was going to pivot greener than more than everybody else, or he was going to pivot green faster than everybody else. So it was an environmental play, but it was still
Smart play.
But it was still an investment in an oil company. What else, bro? You good to go?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a good solid 2 hour.
Yeah.
With the break, but no, it was good. We can do this next time too. I'll come up with some more therapy questions. Hopefully my week won't be as hectic, so it'll be a little bit.
Yeah, why don't you get your minions on it? Like, just start asking like some of the Gen Z people.
Hey,
come up with some would you rather?
Would you? Yeah, no, that sounds like a trouble waiting to happen.
Well, no, it'd be a way for you to weed out like the ones you need to, get rid of, and then, but it could be an unlock, because Gen Z, like, the way they think is so stupid. I could never think like them, so they might have to.
No, I would disagree with that. They're actually not that bad. No, but I'll try.
Like half
try
of our
some
audience is Gen Z.
I'm gonna try some out. Try some ideas out.
Yeah, no, I like to switch it up.
Yeah, mix it up. But that is episode 137, the GameStop Pop Part 2, Diamond Hands edition. Big plans.
I'll probably update it, like make it a little tighter for the audio and the search engine optimization. So look for the new title on Spotify, Apple at midnight tonight.
iTunes, Rumble.
Title. Not Google Podcasts. That went away.
That's true. Sad day. I loved Google Podcasts.
Amazon Music. Breaker.
Napster.
Yeah. Steal that shit. Steal that shit. Even though it's free.
Steal it anyways.
We actually, this is a fact. We hold the record for most illegally downloaded podcast that also was available for free. Like, you didn't need to illegally download it, but our audience does.
Boom. So I'm saying crime syndicate.
You know, it bothers Spotify, our sugar daddy, but, you know, fuck them.
Yeah.
Swedish.
You got anything, sir?
Meditate, bitches. And I mean it sincerely this time.
Well, that's good. This time I actually mean it, meditate. Nah, we appreciate you stopping by. Like, follow, subscribe, leave a comment, be good. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, so everybody, like, chill out this week. Get a little breather, relax a little bit, and meditate. But be safe, be good, stay out of trouble, and as always, go fuck yourselves.
Shout out.
Recording stopped.